Module 2 of Aligning Strategy to Deliver Performance, Engaging and Developing Your Team. Module 2 of Aligning Strategy to Deliver Performance is all about engagement. It's about developing the team. The purpose of this module is to understand the impact of team dynamics. Now, what do I mean when I say team dynamics? Very specifically, we look at communication. We look and see how the team is set up. We look at team performance. And we also look at the impact the leader has on the team. We want to explore the impact of the leadership style. So the person who's responsible for delivering results and leading the team and directing the team, what impact do their style have on the team? Some of the objectives, we want to look at communication style and how that impacts the interpersonal relationships on the team, and indeed how the team interacts with other teams across the organization. We look at goals, we look at roles, we look at processes and interpersonal relationships. These are the 4 key building blocks of the solid foundation that the team needs to work on. We look at team performance using a framework and a methodology that we've used for many years now. This methodology allows us to have a look at potential strengths of the team and the potential gaps that may impact the team's performance. And again, of course, we look at the influence of the leadership on the team. Some of the key outcomes around this is that individuals and the team have a better understanding of interpersonal styles, of communication styles. We begin to address any potential gaps that we might see that may affect the team's performance. We have our communication styles profiles, and these are profiles of the team as a whole, and these are also profiles of the individuals. We have our goals, role, processes, and interpersonal relationships profile. And finally, we revisit the action plan. You might recall from Module 1, we had created an initial action plan. Now that we have more insights, we begin to revise and we begin to update the action plan accordingly. You'll recall that in Module 2, as I gave the overview of the module, we look at the team setup. And to do that, I'd like to share with you the model that we use for that. And it's a very simple model called GRIPPY. And GRIPPY is a simple acronym for goals, roles, processes, and interpersonal relationship. And this is a very simple survey that explores those areas for the team. Before participants come on the module, we send out a questionnaire to all the team members. And as an example, for the goals, we ask 3 very specific questions. Is the vision and goals clear for the team? Have the team identified specific measurable and prioritized goals, and more importantly, deliverables? And do each person on the team, do they feel that their personal development is also factored into the work that they do? So let's have a look at the GRIPPY tool in action. On the left hand side here you can see the questions which we reviewed in the previous slide. And on the right hand side here we can see the tool actually at work. The blue line is the initial survey that the team took. The red line then was an updating survey that they took 3 months after the original survey. And the findings are quite interesting. If we look at the blue line, which is the initial survey, there was particular areas in relation to interpersonal relationships with this particular team, which by the way was a global sales team. And they were together for about 2 years. So one would have thought things like understanding motivators and drivers and the question of trust on the team as well came to the fore. So we began to wonder, why is this with a team that had been together for 2 years? The third part that the team chose to work on was their ability to navigate a virtual matrix organization. And there's no doubt about it, organizations nowadays are getting much more complex when we look at the virtual world we live in, when we look at the kind of so-called network organization, which tends to be the configuration we're seeing more and more. But one of the great things about doing this simple survey was, within a 3-month period, we could bring the team back to an operating level that was beneficial for them in the attainment of the results they wanted to achieve. So very, very powerful and a very, very simple tool that we have used to great effects over the years. Thank you for listening and for taking the time to review Module 2 of Aligning Strategy to Deliver Performance, Engaging and Developing Your Team.